founders of the Social Media Connection. I'm always excited about having the opportunity to come back and share with you so many of my different procedures and processes on soft sell, how to increase your income with soft sell questions. But today it's going to be really exciting to take some of my soft sell questions and really relate those toward recruiting. You know, for years and years I've been doing recruiting in the direct sales industry, and so today I've got a special guest, and he is going to be talking about how he uses questions sometimes in the recruitment process. But we deal in different industries, where mine is more direct sales, his is more the executive recruiting, retained executive recruiting. So some of the times when I do the direct selling questions like, isn't it interesting to learn? Wouldn't it be helpful if? Are you looking forward to? Are you beginning to understand why? Doesn't it make sense to? Don't you feel that you deserve? So anyway, I'll generally go between 75 soft sell questions up to 101 soft sell questions, taking those kind of questions and showing how someone could use a question like, isn't it interesting to learn that some years from now, with this opportunity, you could have the genuine potential to be earning an annual income on a monthly basis? Wouldn't it be valuable? Are you beginning to see why so many sales leaders are really being attracted to this opportunity? Wouldn't it be good? And so those are the kind of questions that I use in the world of soft sell questions for direct sales recruiting. But today, to have Dan Ryan here, I mean, he's one of the elite executive recruiters, retained executive recruiters in the nation. He's been doing it for years with the highest proficiency. And so I'm going to have Dan just share with you how he uses some questions in his recruitment process, and it's really pretty amazing. So Dan, I'm delighted to have you here.
David, it's a pleasure to be back again.
Thank you.
And when we talk about questions, I think people really underestimate the value and significance of gathering information through questions, because especially in the recruiting world, so much of what we do doesn't come from what we say, but what we ask.
Right.
And also the ability for us to gather and also kind of garner information once that question has been asked. I mean, if I were just going to start with one question that always helps me understand the nature of a candidate, I'll always ask people, tell me what your greatest accomplishment has been up to this point.
Wow. Good.
And when I ask that question, it really helps me understand, one, what do they value, and two, have they even given any thought, given any reflection, had any retrospection about what have I done, what have I accomplished, and what's really been important.
Well, sometimes when you're in that sort of process, I share with the viewers how you, like that would be a great first question, because that first question helps you, you're doing some gauging there and some filtering there, because you're doing a gauging of their ego, you're doing a gauging of how they respond with that question in terms of the flavor toward the particular type of company that you've been retained with and that you are representing. So share with them, the viewers, what could be some follow-up questions to that based on their original answer, and how do you shape those other questions depending on what their first answer was?
There are just so many directions we can go on questioning. Another really basic, what I would call backbone question would be, tell us about the best boss you've ever had, or also tell us about a boss you've had that was challenging. And by getting those descriptive attributes of good boss, bad boss, it helps us understand what is someone looking for in an organization. The other thing is, all the research that I've ever seen says that when a person leaves an organization, they don't leave the company, they leave their boss, they leave their supervisor. So understanding, for me, it's very important to understand what is the culture of the organization I represent. Because when we do a search as a retained search firm, we are an extension of that organization. And if we don't accurately reflect what that organization does, what they think, how they feel, then we are not going to find the best possible fit.
Well, pretty amazing. One of the things that I appreciated so much about you the other day when I was watching you teach and train for 2 hours, you had a little clip on don't burn bridges. And so one of the things I would love to have you share with the viewers is, based on that second and third question there, you know, what was you said good boss, bad boss. And when you say what was a frustrating thing of someone that's been a boss, and you could be able to do a little register or a little stressometer or a little bridge building or proficiency, you'll be able to tell from how they answer that question. Did they burn the bridge? Mm-hmm. Is that gone? So if you would share with them just a little bit in terms of what you are, because you ask a question, but you're listening through many different ears of how they're going to be responding to that.
Another question that I would typically ask would be, especially for seasoned professionals, mm-hmm. having them describe why they left company A, why they left company B. Tell me about the circumstances. Tell me why you wanted to do something different. And it's very important to hear not just what somebody is saying, mm-hmm. but sometimes how they're saying it mm-hmm. and what they're not saying. Mm-hmm. Because, getting back to not burning bridges, there are reasons why people leave organizations. Sometimes it's the boss. Maybe they had to geographically move. You just never know. But hearing that description, and if you even have some kind of any information about something that you've heard, I don't want to say on the sly, but mm-hmm. if you have peripheral information, it helps you kind of understand, is this person really a good diplomat in how they represent situations that may not have been exactly the best for them?
Oh, so true. It really is. Well, it's so exciting for me to look at the different perspectives and the proficiencies of using questions can be across a broad range of industries. We want, at the Social Media Connection, to be a platter. We want to be a smorgasbord of information and news for you, how you can be best equipped with the Social Media Connection proficiencies. So I was grateful today to have Dan Ryan. Thank you, Dan.
David, it's a pleasure. And since we're using food as our example, I hope you appreciate this little lagniappe that we've offered you today.
Amen. All right, we'll see you next time on the David Cooper Show. Be back.